A great evening to you all, and thank you very much for joining us here on Rwanda Television News. We do hope you had yourselves a very productive Tuesday. Now here's a sneak peek at our edition tonight. On Tuesday in Seoul, President Paul Kagame joined other leaders at the first Korea-Africa Summit, where he delivered his opening remarks. First Lady of Rwanda, Her Excellency Jeannette Kagame, commended the remarkable resilience of elderly genocide survivors who lost their entire families. Once again, we're glad to have your company tonight, coming to you straight from the heart of Africa, Kigali. My name is Martina Abera. Kicking things off, on Tuesday in Seoul, President Paul Kagame joined other leaders at the first Korea-Africa Summit, where he delivered his remarks. The summit was co-chaired by President Yoon Suk Yeol of the Republic of Korea and President Mohamed El Ghazouani of Mauritania, who is the current AU chairperson. We have more on this report from Adam Squizera.
Excellency.
On the first day of the Korea-Africa Summit, that discusses ways of fostering a better structured and strengthened partnership between the two sides, President Paul Kagame reiterated the beneficial cooperation between African countries and South Korea, which in many ways should have led to the creation of the summit years ago, even though it's more timely today. The head of state pointed out that Africa should learn lessons from how South Korea was able to transform itself from a low-income developing country a few decades ago.
First, Korea knows the value of sovereignty and independence, as well as the struggle required to achieve accountable and inclusive politics. Those experiences allow us to look at each other eye to eye with mutual respect and admiration. Second, Korea's experiences show that a country can be radically transformed in the course of a generation. Is there any explanation for why Africa has not already become a high-income continent? Africa can go much faster, and there is no better way than focusing on stability, health, education, and technology. All of this is possible depending on how we address our security and governance challenges. Africa's young people need these opportunities. It is possible.
President Kagame also highlighted on how partnerships between Rwanda and Korea have focused on cutting edge of innovation, helping to bring up the latest technologies to the country and Africa in general more quickly, whereas he emphasized the need to keep on the path of partnerships such as one between Africa and Korea.
This summit serves to remind us that even more can be done. From artificial intelligence and robotics to small modular nuclear reactors to driving the energy transition with the critical raw materials, Africa and Korea should be working side by side. Africa has much to offer in return, notably by taking advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Connecting with Africa, particularly our very capable young people, will pay dividends for decades to come. Africa will be a central driver of global growth before too long, so long as we do not take our future for granted. We have to keep on the path of partnerships, such as this one between Africa and Korea. In doing so, we may also enhance our cooperation on other matters of mutual concern in the global arena.
This is the first ever summit between Korea and the African continent, which has brought together high-ranking officials from South Korea and Africa to discuss ways of fostering better structured and strengthened partnership between the two sides. It is themed "The Future We Make Together: Shared Growth, Sustainability and Solidarity." The summit was co-chaired by President Yoon Suk-yeol of the Republic of Korea and President Mohamed El Ghazouani of Mauritania, who is currently the AID chairperson. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
More than 450,000 cows have been distributed as part of the Girinka program since its launch back in 2006. The initiative has continued to transform lives to this day. We have more on this report.
Now 54 years old, François-Xavier Muderi was given a cow back in 2008 as part of the Girinka program in Gicumbi district. I am able to get more than 20 liters of milk a day. That's more than 6,000 Rwandan francs per day, or more than 180,000 Rwandan francs per month. After this cow gives birth, we will be selling at least double what we do now, getting to keep far more than 200,000 Rwandan francs per month. We also get to sell cows every year. Francois' life has changed significantly since he first got that cow 16 years ago. Our lives have changed because back then we could only afford to eat one meal per day, and now we have breakfast, lunch and supper. None of our children are stunted because they get to drink milk in the morning and evening. They are also very presentable and well dressed. The cows also provide much needed manure. The manure helps us a lot because before we got the cows, a plot of land like this was able to produce just 10 kilograms of produce, and now we get around 60 kilograms. Add that land and you get around 100 kilograms. Yet before, without manure, you were lucky if you got 30, because all of the beanstalks would rise with nothing on them. Francois now owns more than 3 hectares of farmland, yet before getting his cow, he was not able to afford to leave his parents' compound to find a place of his own. Without the Girinka program, I would have never been able to afford to buy my own cow. Getting that cow changed everything for me, which is why I must express my gratitude to President Kagame. If we could, we would show our gratitude directly to him personally. But because we can't, I will just say, may God bless him. There are other success stories in Gicumbi district, such as Gervais Uzaba Chiriho, who was a one-day laborer before he got his first cow. I'm not allowed to keep more than 16 cows, and when new calves are born, I sell among the older cows because I get more money that way. I get around 1.5 million Rwandan francs per cow. These cows produce around 30 liters of milk per day at the very least. Others produce 40 liters a day each, and the original one they gave me from Germany produced 50 liters of milk per day on its own. Unfortunately, it died of old age, but it was still able to give birth to 9 calves before it died. Gervais gleefully calls his cows money-making machines. In all honesty, these cows are like money-making machines that have helped me to greatly develop. I give them hay, and in return they give me milk and manure, and I get money from them. That is why I call them money-making machines. At 51 years of age, Gervais has managed to build himself a nice home and owns 2 vehicles, a work truck and a personal car. I borrowed 18 million Rwandan francs from the bank to be able to buy this car for my personal use, and I have now fully paid. Gervais is now thinking of his old age and says he is making plans to ensure that he is able to retire comfortably. I borrowed 18 million Rwandan francs from the bank to be able to buy this car for my personal use, and I have now fully paid back the loan. I don't owe any banks money. District authorities in Gicumbi note that the Girinka program has not only helped to significantly improve the social and financial welfare of beneficiaries, it has also helped to promote harmony and unity in society, because the act of giving someone a cow in Rwandan culture has great significance, forging bonds that are almost impossible to break among people. At the end of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi here in Rwanda, only 172,000 heads of cattle remained in the entire country, and by 2005 their numbers had rebounded to more than 1 million. As of June last year, there were 1.45 million heads of cattle in Rwanda, and since the Girinka program began, it alone has distributed close to 500,000 cows. Unfortunately, people in Gichumbi district have been found to sell as much as 99% of the milk that cows produce, leading to problems of malnutrition, especially among children, which is why officials in the Rwanda Agriculture and Animal Resources Development Board have been urging farmers there to ensure that their children drink more milk. Back in 2005, the average Rwandan consumed just 21 liters annually, and as of last year, that figure had increased to 80 liters, which is an increase of fourfold. However, international figures indicate that a person in sub-Saharan Africa should be consuming 120 liters of milk per year. Since the Girinka program began, milk production has increased by 645% in Rwanda.
The First Lady of Rwanda, Her Excellency Jeannette Kagame, commended the remarkable resilience of elderly genocide survivors who lost their entire families and had no one left to take care of them. She commended their choice of life despite the genocide's consequences. During the 30th commemoration of the genocide against the Tutsi, Her Excellency urged the youth to learn from this resilience and use the current opportunities to build a developed genocide-free Rwanda. Olive Nete with more.
The First Lady, Her Excellency Jeannette Kagame, joined elderly genocide survivors who lost their entire families and had no one left to take care of them in the commemoration activity. It is an activity carried out in the home of these parents in Huye, and they were also joined by elderly genocide survivors from the home of Nyanza. Commemoration activities were preceded by lighting the flame of hope. Scholastic Mukabuhigiro shared the testimony of how his husband and child were killed, and also how they used to be tortured even before the genocide. She highlighted that this shelter for elderly survivors has been crucial in preventing depression since they are well taken care of.
Ariko kubera umubyeyi wacu nyakubahwa Madamu Jeannette Kagame wadushakiye uru rugo.
Thanks to our parent, the First Lady, Her Excellency Jeannette Kagame, we have been able to find this peaceful home. May God bless her and her family abundantly. We also thank His Excellency President Paul Kagame for ensuring the country's safety, as without safety, there can be no development. We continue to live well here, with frequent visitors, sportswear that allows us to engage in sports, and opportunities for entertainment and freedom.
Batuzaniye amapantaro tukajya twambara amapantaro tugakora amasiporo tukidagadura.
The Minister of Rwandan Unity and Civic Engagement, Dr. Jean Damascene Bizimana, highlighted that while many elderly genocide survivors are well settled, 148 still need shelter. Currently, only 45 places are available in all the shelters. He emphasized that sustainable solutions are being pursued to address these issues. Minister Bizimana also praised the courage of these elders, noting that their continued existence is a testament to life triumphing over death.
Muri ntara y'amajyepfo jenoside yahasize ingaruka nyinshi.
In this southern province, the genocide left numerous consequences for various reasons, one being that it had the highest percentage of Tutsi inhabitants. Even the Habyarimana regime acknowledged this, showing in the 1983 census that the Runyinya commune near Huye had 25% Tutsi. This is why the Karama Memorial is the final resting place of more than 75,000 Tutsi, a testament to the intensity of the genocide in Huye district, Gisagara, Nyaruguru, and other nearby areas. Dear elderly parents who were left all alone, you are symbols of the atrocities committed by the bad government that sought to exterminate the Tutsi. But be strong, because life conquered death, and that is what we have come to commemorate here. We have come to honor what was done in the Rwandan culture, where life is cherished and honored.
This commemoration event of remembering families of elderly genocide survivors who lost their entire families was organized by the Unity Club in Huararumuri, which comprises of current cabinet members and previous ones, as well as their spouses. The First Lady, Her Excellency Jeannette Kagame, visited the survivors, commending their resilience and assuring those still without shelter that they will soon be accommodated.
Aho Rwanda rugeze nyuma y'imyaka 30 ni ikimenyetso cyuko
Where Rwanda currently stands after these past 30 years is a testament to our country's potential for even greater development if we prioritize unity in all we do, as patriotic Rwandans who aim to develop our nation. My wish for you is to maintain this same dedication to building the Rwanda we desire. As the Unity Club in Huararumuri, We will continue to support the elderly genocide survivors in every possible way. We will not stop advocating for our parents so that they can continue to lead good lives. Adding to what our colleague Damasen said, even those who are currently without shelter will not have to wait long for a solution. The First Lady also urges young people to learn from this resilience and use current available opportunities that the country provides to develop themselves and their country.
ku bato bacu bari hirya no hino bazumva ubu butumwa iyo tugeze mu rugo.
To the young ones who will hear this message, when we visit a place like this, filled with tangible evidence of our history, we are reminded of our responsibilities to find sustainable solutions for the consequences of the genocide against the Tutsi. Dear young people, the Rwanda you see today was not always like this. The opportunities we have now of having a country where we can be able to pursue our studies and pursue any career without discrimination, such opportunities were not available to your elders. We should all use this opportunity wisely.
Igihugu cyacu kitagera igihe dushyize hamwe nk'abanyarwanda bafite umutima wo gukunda igihugu no kugikorera ibyiza.
98 elderly genocide survivors who lost their entire families are sheltered in Hui district, while 27 are housed in Nyanza district. Currently, 4 homes across the country shelter 222 elderly genocide survivors, including 195 women and 27 men. Olive Nete, RTV News.
The National Electoral Commission has called on religious leaders to sensitize their followers on the upcoming elections, especially participation in the preparation of voting centers that will be located in schools. The meeting that brought together both sides also featured officials from the Rwanda Governance Board and religious organizations were commended for the role they play during electoral periods, especially providing schools as polling centers when you consider that 65% of schools in Rwanda are owned by religious organizations. Officials in the National Electoral Commission say preparations for next month's presidential and parliamentary elections are more than 90% complete and progressing well with no problems. The Arcos network has launched the Kivu Rusizi Catchment Restoration Project that will, among other things, help the families of 9,000 farmers in the districts of Rusizi and Karongi to better care for the environment and still make a living off of the land. The 5-year project is worth $3 million and will operate in Rwanda, Burundi, and the DRC.
This project is a project touching on 3 countries. As you can see, the catchment of this area touch on Rwanda, on Congo, and Burundi, and it is part of a larger initiative on landscape restoration that we are also launching that we call Endokwa. Endokwa means seedlings. It is a Luganda. And we came up with this name with a network of communities in Africa. And there are different names, and they came up with this name because it is simple. Yeah. And this initiative that we are launching with funding from Bezos Earth Fund and in collaboration with Audanepad FL100, it is an initiative really to build community grassroots champions for landscape restoration. We are in the agenda of the UN Decade for Ecosystem Restoration. We are in the agenda of Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. We are in the agenda of really reversing the loss of biodiversity during this decade. The major problems all contributing actually to climate change.
In collaboration with USAID Hinga Wunguke, Equity Bank Rwanda has introduced 9 different types of loans to facilitate the investment of projects geared towards environmental protection. Executives at the bank say the drive is meant to support Rwanda's efforts to build up a green economy.
We showcased or launched our green products, which we called Equi-Green products, which are products that are targeting to build sustainability across many sectors. the products that are in the wash sector, water and sanitation. There are products that are in the green mobility. There are products that are in green construction. There are products that are in different areas, smart climate, smart agriculture, to start ingraining or embedding sustainability in those sectors to deal with climate risks. So today we put out these products in partnership with all the other partners that we worked with. Hingawunguke, a product a partnership with Feed the Future, funded by USAID. We also had the other partners on board, the Ministry of Environment, the Fonerua Fund, and the Ministry of Agriculture. Working together, those products will be taken to the market so that customers of the bank begin to use in fulfillment of building the Rwanda we want.
And on behalf of the news production team as well as the technical team, we'd like to thank you very much for sticking with us on RTV News. My name is Martina Abera. Stay safe and have a great night.